nice are you about it?
Oh, it's 10 o'clock already.
Mark, you're on mute. Mark, we can't hear you. Mark. You're on mute. Mark.
I heard you.
Mark. Okay, you're good. All right.
All right, folks. Glad that I've got all right, folks, coming into the National Black Theater Festival and all along those lines. I see we've got a number of people here, including Adam Lambarello and others, but there's a lot of things going on in town and all. I'm actually in Winston-Salem today, but I'm going to bring in our regular folks and see what they've got going on and all along those lines. But yeah, I'm actually in the lobby of one of the hotels here, which is the hotel of interest and the hotel that the folks will be at for the National Black Theater Festival. And I see that there's a play reading and a number of other things that are going on in town. But I'm going to bring in my other panelists, and they're going to talk about a number of things going on in the news, including what's going on with Kamala Harris and other folks as well. So I'm going to bring in one of the founders of the network, none other than Nick Palvado. And of course, I'm going to bring in other folks as well, and including Rick Rosner and others. So I'm going to bring them in and see what they've got going on as well. So definitely a lot of things are taking place, and glad to be here, glad to be able to check this a big event out and all in that way. So like I said, I'm gonna bring in Nick and I'm gonna bring in the other folks as well. So definitely we've got a lot of folks that are joining us, and I'm just glad to be here at this big event. So I'm gonna grab some of these flyers and we'll have that conversation. I may jump up on the bigger laptop in a second, but I'm just here joining and checking out what's happening. There's a number of plays that will be taking place in Winston-Salem. I know Kimberly knows this because she's got a son that lives in Winston-Salem now. Winston-Salem has grown big time. So I was actually just talking to a young lady that lives downtown and all in that space, and she's been here in Winston-Salem for a number of decades. I think she said she's been in downtown for about 6 years, and there's also some of the places that used to exist, like the Stevens Center, that are no longer here, and all along those lines. Actually, they're renovating, I should say that, and in that space. But there's a number of things that are taking place, and I'm looking forward to seeing what folks have to say about the events that are going on and all in that kind of line. So like I said, I'm gonna bounce off. I might get on the bigger laptop in a second, but we're gonna do some of my usual networking. I'm here with my buddy Calvin Allen and Anderson, I should say, and all in that space. But there's a number of things that are taking place here. And of course, they've got Readers Theater and a number of other things going on. So just glad to see folks that are here, and I'm going to be trying to network. I think Petrie Bird, who is the bailiff with Judge Judy, and others are already here. So hopefully I'll get a chance to see some of them, because there are longtime friends that have been at this festival and that I usually see at these events. So looking forward to seeing what they've got going on and what they've got going on in their lives and all in that space. But I'm going to turn it over to you fine folks, as I'm going to remove myself from stage until I can get to a better situation in terms of my laptop and all in that line. But I'm going to remove myself from the stage and turn it over to Nick and Kim and see what they've got to say about the news items. Usually I'd be doing a news brief, but I don't have that in front of me. But I know Rick Rosner probably has some ideas about some news stories, and I'll probably join y'all in a little bit once I get further situated. Right. But like I said, I'm going to remove myself from the stage.
And he's gone. So he's back.
Hi. So, Mark, give us some things that you know that are going on today that we can talk about.
He's busy.
Okay, well, like I said, I know there's a number of things that are taking place in the world. Of course, there's the whole conversation around Kamala Harris and who she will pick for her VP. Of course, there's a number of things still going on both sides of the political aisle and all along those lines. And of course, one of the things that is going on here as well as going on in other places is the growth of cities and the redevelopment in cities, because we're seeing that even taking place here in Winston as well. So there's a number of things that are going on in that space. So a number of people are definitely getting engaged in that kind of conversation. So that's one of the things that y'all can talk about, is what's happening in that regards and all along those lines. Because I do know a number of people are following that. And of course, things are still going on with Ukraine. Things are still going on in Israel and a number of other places as well. So any of those would be good talking points and everything. As a matter of fact, I'm seeing a sign here that says athletes and artists for reparations. So apparently there's going to be a whole conversation about reparations that might be taking place at this particular festival and all along those lines. So like I said, a lot is going on, and there's a number of things that y'all could be talking about as well. But definitely that's something that can be in the engaging conversation.
Rick,
So we had a prisoner exchange with Russia. We got 3 of our people back. Actually, 8 prisoners. I own at least 3 of our people back. And this is the 3rd prisoner exchange that we've had under Biden with Russia. Under Trump, no prisoner exchanges with Russia, but we did get a guy back from North Korea in a fatal coma.
I remember that.
North Korea, basically beat him to death. And we did get 5,000 Taliban released for no advantage to us.
Yeah, and what were we doing in North Korea? Let's not talk about any personal responsibility on that.
No, well, that kid, all right, the kid's an idiot for going to North Korea, and his offense that got him murdered by the regime was he peeled a poster off the wall as a souvenir. Which
Strike 1, that's strike 2, strike 3, he dies, and that's life.
He doesn't deserve that. He doesn't deserve that. Let's not.
You can say that, but the thing is, people do have to have a certain amount of personal responsibility, Shaq. I mean, it's almost like, hey.
Okay, so let's talk about. So let's talk about personal responsibility.
Yeah, let's.
There are many people that are on today that don't particularly like me. But let me ask this question to the one person that we know absolutely detests me. Okay? I'm going to ask the question to Toby. If I were to come to the United States, if I were to be admitted to the United States, do you think overall that I would be a positive contribution to the United States, or do you think that I would be a negative contribution to the United States?
And what does that have to do?
Now
with
the question to you, Toby, you can sit there and look stunned. The question, I've asked Toby a question. Do you overall think
the world audience? The world audience.
We're talking about America. We're talking about North Korea. Do you think? Let me ask the question to Toby. Do you think? Okay, well, Nick's running cover for you, Toby. So obviously, you don't want to answer it, or he doesn't think that you want to answer it. Adam,
my client not to answer that question because that
perfect.
Perfect.
Well, let me ask a lawyer. Let me ask a lawyer. Adam, you and I disagree on actually quite a lot. Like we disagree on a whole heap of different things, right? From the Third Amendment to whether it was the Greenfield, whatever it is, the law about contraceptives. Like you and I disagree on a whole heap of stuff, right? And I don't have any tattoos, and you do. So like you and I shouldn't really be friends. We shouldn't get along. Do you think that I would be a positive, like on a net basis? Do you think that I would be a positive or a negative contribution to the United States?
It's not even relevant.
Nick, let the man answer. Let the man answer. You've run cover. You've run cover for Jacoby.
This line of questioning, it is not
you've run cover for Jacoby already. Let Adam answer. Adam, what do you think?
Based on one person's idea about themselves.
No.
It has
No,
nothing to
look,
do
I could ask
with the
Rick.
national conversation.
I could ask Rick, but he's a
If you have
Democrat.
question like that, go to the immigration board.
I could ask Rick. I could ask Rick, but Rick's a Democrat, and you won't like his answer because Rick thinks the world of me.
Because
What are you so worried about? Let Adam answer. Let Adam answer. Jacoby, Nick's already run cover for you. Let Adam answer. Let Adam answer. Adam?
I don't think this show
Let
should
Adam
be about
answer.
Shaq or anyone else. I think
Just
that what
let
we
Adam
need to do
answer
is
the
discuss-
question. I'm going somewhere with this. Let Adam answer the question.
That's not what this is
Not,
about.
not a relevant question. Can we
It's
talk
true
about
that
Come on,
Shaquille and I
please.
have disagreed about several constitutional law issues. That's very true. We have different views, but he's extremely intelligent. He's extremely informed, and he would be a very positive addition to this country. And I appreciate him on the show, and I appreciate the fact that he disagrees with me because I like to listen to people who do that so that I can learn something and have a constructive dialogue. So thank you for being here, Shaq.
Yeah. I
So,
agree.
Adam, now my follow-up question to you, Adam, my follow-up question to you is, being an American, what is my easiest pathway to the United States? Is it A, which would only take me 4 to 6 weeks, is it A, to apply for a visa, given that I'm coming from a Western country, to apply for a visa, wait the 4 to 6 weeks and go through everything I need to go through? Or is it B, to just cross your southern border? What do you think is easier for me?
The answer is B, to cross the southern border illegally.
Is that a good thing?
Wait.
No.
Professor, okay? Easy
I
doesn't
think
mean.
you
What do
should
you
try it.
actually?
Nick, I'm just answering questions. I'm just answering the
So
questions.
what do you know about it? Have you been there? When's the last time you've been at the southern border?
What do you, Shaq? What do you actually do? You
Everybody
actually.
wants their life
Why are
to be
we?
easy. Easy is a 4-letter word. We shouldn't even have that word.
To answer your question, Rick, to answer your question, let's say that I do nothing, which is pretty close to the truth. Okay, let's say that I do absolutely nothing because I trade the finance markets and I just get to make money based on what governments are doing, and I just
You can do that.
put my positions that way, right? So my contribution is not that great. Let's go with that. Okay, I'd like to think that my contributions are great, but let's just go with I suck and I'm a terrible, horrible, evil capitalist pig. Let's go with that. Okay. Here's the answer to your question. Anybody who's wealthy has a streamlined process to come to the United States as long as they're not coming from China or India, because they've got restrictions on that. Okay. So when you look at US immigration rules and you look at the visas that they make available to wealthy people coming from Western countries, they never meet the quota. For example, they have a special kind of visa for Australians that are wanting to work in the United States. It's called the E3 visa. Never talked about. They made 10,000 visas available every year. They couldn't get 10,000 people from Australia to come. So then they extended the overflow to Ireland. They still couldn't get anybody to come. They get somewhere between, when it was Australia, they got somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500. When it came to including Ireland, they got somewhere between 2,000 and 2,500, okay, off a 10,000 quota. So when I hear Americans go, oh, we're the greatest country on earth and everybody on earth wants to come here. No, you guys don't attract the best and the brightest. You guys don't attract people from your peer group. What you attract are the poorest. What you guys attract are the people that have got nothing better to go for. And I, being somebody who loves America, I happen to think that you guys are better than that. I think that you guys should be trying to attract people like me.
Just to point out,
don't come if you don't think that it's suitable to you. Don't. But let's
just to
talk
point
about
out,
some things that
Come
are
on,
on the.
let me point out something. The reason why America sucks and the reason I'm going to Barcelona, 50 was the total amount of people killed by guns in the United States. Excuse me, in Spain last year, 50. The United States was 20,000. Why? Because you got stupid Second Amendment people. Oh, you got to have the Second Amendment, got to have our guns. And so your violent crimes here are out the gazoo. So I am going to Spain to live where it's safe.
So let me ask you the same question. Let me ask you the same question, Nicholas. Let me ask you the same
I
question.
don't know why you like
What-
America so much.
Hang on a second. What is your contribution to Spain? Right? You have no intention of going over there and working.
Have you seen?
No,
the
hang on. Hold up.
Now,
You've got no intention of going over there and working. You have no intention of going over there and setting up a business, right? You're just going to go over there and spend your American dollars. So why doesn't America do the same thing and try and attract people that aren't planning on working there? They're just planning on spending their dollars. But you know what?
Just-
You know what? Other than the fact that I'm an EU citizen, if I wanted to move to Spain, 6 months, easy. If I want to move to America, 6 weeks, I can get there if I go on a business visa. But if I just want to have a visa that says, I'm not going to do a bloody thing, I'm just going to come over and spend my money, and I want to travel around America for a couple of years, no such visa exists.
okay.
So
just-
what exactly is the United States doing? And the same thing applies for Australia, by the way. What are you guys doing? Right? And meanwhile, what you'll do is you'll pick on people like Adam Lamparello and go, Adam, how dare you? Adam, you're a piece of shit. You have gone out there, you've gone to the University of Spoiled Children, you've worked your ass off, you've gotten a qualification, and now you're working, and your parents have got a bit of money. How dare you? What a horrible person you are.
Okay.
Right? That's what you'll say to Adam. But you won't. But you're welcoming to foreign money. Before you go, just let Adam respond because I called him a piece of shit. I think he should be able to respond.
Just to point out.
No, Jacoby, let Adam respond to being called a piece of shit.
I've just been trying to interject for the past little while.
Well, Adam's on the screen. Adam's on the screen, so you be quiet.
I just wanted to say real quick.
No, Adam's on the screen. You be quiet.
Just real quick.
Adam's on the screen. You be quiet.
Jacoby, I'll keep this very brief. So some of the comments that have been said about me, particularly a comment yesterday that was made about me, including mocking my voice when I wasn't even here to defend myself, is disgraceful. But it reflects something symptomatic of our society now that has made it so divisive. If you don't hate Trump, if you think Trump did some good things, well, then people personally attack you, call you a piece of garbage, call you a racist and a sexist. And it has to stop. I support Donald Trump, and I am not going to apologize for it, nor am I going to acknowledge people who want to gossip about me behind my back when I'm not here. You're not worth my time. But what is worth the audience's time is a constructive debate with people of different points of view, and I look forward to having that.
Okay, now just to start off, if we have started a show on World Edition going into personal gripes and griefs about how people feel about each other. That is not what this show is supposed to be about. You brought up an issue about immigration and then turned it into, hey, Adam, you should talk about how people. Adam, you don't need to respond to that because everybody on this panel respects you. Even though, hey, you may get some attacks here and there, that's normal for everybody. And then let's go into the quick thing about Donald Trump. We cannot, I think it was yesterday, if we're talking about old shows, yesterday somebody talked about, well, when you say things about Trump, being weird and all this other stuff, you're attacking millions and millions of people. Well, those same people say nothing when Donald Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene called Democrats pedophiles, called Democrats all these other horrible things. So stop playing the victim. Let's have a legitimate debate. So, Adam, I completely agree with you on that. We should be having discussions on actual topics. Now, getting back to the immigration issue, what Shaq, you bring up, yes, it's an issue in terms of actually location. You're comparing the immigration coming from Australia compared to those coming across the border from close neighboring countries. It's tough to make that comparison. And especially when you look at in terms of attracting individuals, we never talk about all the people coming from Canada on different TN visas, which are there and which happen through nursing. There's also people coming across in those tech communities, which honestly, Kim brought up that we should have talked about even more, how the tech bubble is using a lot of individuals coming from not only India, but also Germany and other places to fill in our shortage in the tech industry and actually the cybersecurity industry. In North Carolina alone, there are more than 20,000 jobs in the cybersecurity space that need to be filled. And a lot of those jobs,
I see all the German immigrants. I see all the German immigrants.
Be muted as well. Shaq, please. Now, when we're talking about these immigration issues, I think we should focus on a lot of the things that we can actually work together on, which, you know, if we're talking about a problem at the border, how Shaq, your analogy should have been focused on, hey, the easiest way for a lot of people who are struggling that are sitting in Mexico, sitting in other South American countries that are struggling to get across, that have been following in the line, that get upset about those individuals that just cross over the border, which has created a problem between the undocumented immigrants and those documented immigrants that are here and those dreamers. The people that are crossing the border, a lot of them have been waiting and struggling for a long time. If we actually put in money to help with people like Adam, people like Nick, who are lawyers that can go down and help those cases that these people are actually trying to get adjudicated, but they can't get there because there are no judges. Rick brought up that if you even brought in an extra, double the amount of judges to 1,300 or 1,200, it would still take numerous years to get these people actually seen before a judge and their case taken care of. This needs to be a big focus in terms of our immigration policy, which could help us out with the problem at the border, because that is where the immigration issue is. And a lot of people get stuck here from staying over.
Well, I'll tell you what I'll do for you. I will commit today to helping out the German immigrants that are trying to come to America because they have IT qualifications. Because you mentioned Germany with all the others, I will commit to that. And as for hateful speech, hey, nobody today has said anything bad about Adam except for me. I called Adam a piece of shit, right? So, like, Adam, I don't know why. Adam should be really upset with me, but he didn't respond to that. Then I made fun of Adam for his tattoos, and Adam was okay with that.
Well,
so I don't know. Like maybe one side of politics, has a bit more of a backbone than the other side in your country. Maybe that's what's going on, Jatobi.
And one thing I'll say, and then Rick, I think we should have you speak after I briefly just say, the beginning of the show has actually been a perfect example or a microcosm of the divisiveness in the country, where people cannot constructively disagree on important issues and instead attack each other. The perfect example was yesterday when I was attacked on this show when I was not even here. And the American people should watch this show and see how pathetic it is and see how disgusting it is and say, you know what, I want to be better. Okay. Now, Donald Trump did a lot of good things as president. Joe Biden was not an effective president. I am not a Republican or a Democrat, but what I am is I am going to look at the facts and make an honest assessment. I may disagree with Shaq. I may disagree with Jatovi, but I'm going to base it on the facts and I'm not on my ideology. And when you see this show start off 20 minutes into it with people attacking each other, remember, that's what our society is doing today, and it has to stop, and it's going to stop right now because we're going to have a constructive discussion of the issues. And Rick, I look forward to hearing your views.
All right, so records aside, if you look at the betting markets and the momentum, Trump now has a significant chance of losing the election. But beyond that, I want to talk about getting rich people into the U.S. The U.S. has a huge opportunity in 4 years. We're having our first Summer Olympics since 1996 coming to L.A. So this is a chance for this will attract millions of tourists. And a ton of money, and if we can, like make LA look clean and inviting, and make the U.S. look like it's not chaotic.
Rick.
Well, Rick, you just said something, Rick, that Trump has
an ugly girl putting on makeup, right, because she's going on a first date, doesn't mean that she's good looking. Okay, so just like when President Xi came into California and you guys cleaned up the streets, do it properly, clean up the streets, give housing to the people that need it, and deal with the drug problem. Okay. But just putting lipstick on a pig and expecting the rest of the world to not think that it's still a pig is not going to work. Okay. And secondly, why is it, and I'm not directing this at you, Rick, why is it that Rick and I can disagree about a whole heap of different issues? Nick and I can disagree about a whole heap of different issues. Nick has never said to me, Shaquille, I never want to speak to you again. Shaquille, you disagree with me about this point, and so therefore I want nothing to do with you. Or Shaquille, you like this person, and I don't like that person because this person said this, but because you don't hate the person, I don't want to have anything to do with you because you not hating the person means you support it. Nick's never said that to me. Adam's never said that to me. I didn't direct it to you, Kimberly. I didn't direct that at you. You've not said that to me either. You've not.
This whole thing is them two wanting to come in and talk about my behavior. I get it. Okay.
Kimberly, I didn't direct that at you. You've never said it to me either.
For my morals or my ethics and my standing on my ground, that if I don't want certain,
but you should apologize for your behavior.
Can we please?
Just wait a minute. Just everyone wait. Okay. Just wait. When I saw Adam, the first thing I was going to do, but everyone else had to run their mouth, was I was going to apologize. And I don't do that. But I was going to apologize if I offended him. But I spoke the truth, because when we ran the debate and I asked, can you not find anything
you
nice
deliberately
to say
lied, and you are lying
and
now.
He said, no, I cannot. And
Kim
that
deliberately
is the truth.
lied.
I will pull the video, but I'm not going to sit here and fight about that, because that's not fair to the rest of what this show is about, or to Mark, who plans this show. If you want to talk about that, let's talk about it in private. But
I don't want to talk about it in private because you're the one who made it public.
Can we please? Let me
say something here. Let me say something here. Let me say something on behalf of Adam. Kimberly, let me say something on behalf of Adam that Adam's not saying. Let me say something on behalf of Adam. Adam's not saying this, right? Nobody has an issue with anything you've said, Kimberly. We love you. We love your perspective. Okay, so whether.
But you're not letting me finish. All right.
Well,
and
I'm just saying whether Adam has been offended or hasn't.
You opened the show taking over without giving me a chance to do what was right. And I had that on my brain because Adam reached out to me last night and he said that. And I told myself, if I ever see him again, I will apologize if I offended him, because that is the kind of person I am. But all I did was say, please try to find something nice. I did use your name because you weren't able to find anything nice about Biden when I asked that question, and you replied, I can't.
You are lying. You are lying now.
Adam, just accept
you
her
are lying
apology.
now.
Let her apologize to you.
I'm not. But
Toby, I accept the
I got muted just Toby, so why don't you shut let them talk?
If what I said offended you, I apologize.
We have some important topics. If you guys want to talk about yourselves,
Thank
please
you.
talk
Thank you.
elsewhere.
I would rather take
I want to make a point
just-
about the election.
I'll just say this. I don't think apologies are needed. I don't think.
I don't get this. All right.
I don't think apologies are needed. I think people should just be cool, right? We have differences of opinion.
Okay. The important topic is what Dan just brought up. The Olympics is in Utah coming up, not just LA. So
But what I do want to talk about is what's been going on. You know, there's a lot of issues about, you know, the boxers in boxing, whether somebody was transgender. You know, there's a lot of things, and a lot of people are complaining about a lot of things that are just not making this world a fun place to do anything. And the whole idea of the Olympics was to get out and play a sport. They make all of these rules. I don't think they should have fought. That's not something I thought should have happened, but I think that should have been the responsibility of their trainers and the responsibility of the coaches and the responsibility of the people who made the policies for fight.
Kimberly, with all due respect, if you're going to do something that you know people are going to be offended by, how about you just don't do it? If I want to make a sexist joke, it's one thing if I make that sexist joke in private to my male friends. But if you and some of your friends are there and we're all having some cocktails,
are we talking about the
right?
fight, or
why would I make that sexist joke? It's the same thing with the Olympics. Why would you say something or do something or present something that you know that people are going to be upset by? And in relation to that boxing thing,
there's a lot of personal
come on now.
responsibility.
You've got
there.
90% of the world's population when they were polled saying they thought it was wrong. Okay? I don't have an issue with somebody who's transgender competing, but don't compete in that category. Come on now.
She's not
That girl has spent her whole life, that attorney girl spent her whole life trying to get there, and she broke down in tears after she forfeited because she'd never been hit harder.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing with that Fallon, whatever it was in UFC.
I'm going to make a point here because my dad was a Golden Glove boxer, and he actually, you know, taught me and my sisters how to fight, and he didn't teach us how to fight like girls. But
and you wouldn't have wanted to fight a girl, I'm sure.
No, I don't want to fight a man either. They hurt.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point,
anyone
Kimberly.
who hits hurts. I've been hit by a girl that hurts. Okay. What I'm saying is she took a sport that hits and hits hard. And you cannot tell me that she has never trained with a male. You cannot tell me that.
Kimberly, come on now. Come on now. That's not.
Stop interrupting and let me finish. At the end of the day, it should have been her trainer's responsibility to make the decision whether she could handle that fight.
No, it should have been the International Olympic Committee's
decision.
She
was at the Olympics. She was at the Olympics. What is she going to do? What is she going to do? Look.
But I'm not going to hold the transgender or anyone else responsible. It is their trainers and their coaches, and it is the policies of the Olympics, and that's who needs to be changed. Just like Nick and I were talking about a lawsuit.
But that's what we're all asking for. But Kimberly, that's what we're all asking for.
You guys are having the wrong argument.
You just proved
they're not going
Shaquille's
to do
point.
anything, and I go, well, nobody's going to do anything if you don't.
Kimberly, that's what we're all asking for. We're all asking for this to be fairer.
Can I interject real quick?
We're all asking for this to be fairer. Okay. Women should not be required to fight biological males. If they're fighting to Toby, no problem, right? Because they'll win. But otherwise, they shouldn't be required to fight a biological male.
She's not transgender.
Exactly.
She's not trans. In Algeria, where she's from, it's illegal to be trans. She's a woman. She has a vagina. She has boobs. And yeah, she probably has higher levels of testosterone because of like a genetic blip. But she's not even that great a fighter.
Oh, come on, Rick. Bullshit. Come on now.
No. I mean,
come on now. Would you want your daughter? Would you accept your daughter fighting her? Would you accept it?
My daughter is.
Would you accept your daughter fighting her?
No, my daughter's 5'4". It doesn't box. My daughter's teeny. But this lady she's 5'10". She's had 51 total fights. She's lost
disqualifications because
she's only won 6 fights by knockout.
Okay.
She's not even a transgender.
Can I add some extra facts also? Let me add a little bit of fact here.
Because she's pumped up on testosterone.
No, she wasn't pumped up on.
Thank you,
Have
Nick.
you ever heard of hyperandrogenism? Have you ever heard of the term hyperandrogenous?
Come on.
If you've ever heard of the term hyperandrogynous, there was actually a female who was actually a Jamaican track athlete who actually got banned from the Olympics because she was hyperandrogynous. It's the same thing with this young lady here, who, may I point out, she competed in the Olympics in 2020. She did not win. She actually, she was 17th place that she got. She has not been a title holder in any boxing, but now it's an issue because the problem is we're hypersensitive to this situation.
You mean he, right?
Wait, let me finish real quick. She's not transgender. She was born a female. She has high levels of testosterone. That happens. That has happened in many female athletes. She got banned. She did not work in the IBF because she did not qualify in 2022 for the IBF. She did compete in the 2020 Olympics, when she competed before. And once again, she has never won an Olympic gold medal or all this other stuff that everybody's talking about. Yes, she trained hard.
This is the usual. Nick, the country that you're leaving, this is the normal way that things go, right? There's never any acknowledgement, right? If I play chess, if I play chess with Sacha Star, and I want to give my King's Gambit open, and he doesn't give it to me, and I have to say, "Come on, Sasha, let me have it," right? And then I happen to beat him. He doesn't blame himself. He doesn't blame me. He just says, "Okay, you happen to know that open more than I do, right?" So what happens with the left? What happens with the left is. Jacoby, shush. Jacoby, just shush for a second. Just shush for a second. I'm responding to you. You had your time. Let me respond to you. Let me respond to you.
The amount of
what we say with the left is no acknowledgement that maybe the other side has a point. So it's like me not acknowledging that Sasha is a better chess player than me. No, I should acknowledge that. I should go, well, he's older, or he's from the Soviet Union or whatever. No acknowledgement. But Jacoby, I will extend an olive branch to you. No, Jacoby, I will. Shush for a second. Just shush for a second. I will extend an olive branch to you. I will extend an olive branch to you. Just shush. Just shush.
Guys,
I will extend an olive branch to you. If you want to go to the Olympics against females, I am very confident they will beat you up, and I will fully support. I will fully support your entrance into it, my friend. I will fully support it.
If you can't acknowledge that she's not transgender and that she was born a female and she's hyperandrogynous, then we're having a discussion. If you're arguing that she's transgender, you're having a discussion about something else that is on your heart.
Oh, it's on my heart. What an evil heart I have. What an evil heart I have, Jacoby.
You wanted to bring it up.
Well, I just wish I was like you, Jacoby. I really do.
Let's listen to Rick. Acknowledge your disqualification.
So this woman is 25. She's been a girl and then a woman her entire life. She's been boxing as a woman since 2018. She's she's a freaking woman. And there's some question as to whether she's ever been genetically tested. But
Rick, if I tell you that I've got big man boobs because I'm a bit overweight and I've been wearing a bra since 2018, it's not true, but let's just say that I have. Are you comfortable with your daughter getting into a boxing ring with me?
No,
Come on now.
Come on now. Has she been disqualified? Acknowledge, has she been disqualified because she has too much testosterone in her system?
I don't think so. I don't think that's
Liberals, please answer yes or no.
So the answer is she passed the Olympic testing to make it into the Olympics to actually be able to box. I don't know if I don't know if they've made a ruling on that.
The answer is yes, Nick.
Jacoby, are you a conservative all of a sudden?
Nick is 100%
Are you a conservative all of a sudden? right?
Yeah.
When we see
absolutely right.
disparities,
I'm not
when we
stupid.
see disparities in the legal system where black people end up with a worse result, the rest of us sit there and say, "Hey, this is a really bad situation, and we should fix it." But you are the conservative. You are the new woke conservative that's going to sit there and say, "Oh, well, the rules said it was okay."
That is understandable. So, Nick, yes, if that's news that she's just recently been disqualified, I understand because of the controversy. But again, she did qualify under the Olympics restrictions to make it to that boxing match. Therefore, she was able to box.
At that point in time. At that point in time.
Jacoby, if the Wokesters said that the sun rises in the west and sets in the east, you'd go with it.
I'm trying to hear Nick. So yeah, if she's been disqualified after the fact, yeah, I mean,
you said that.
But
you
again,
just said that.
Similar.
You just said that. What do you say you didn't hear Nick? You just said that.
Can I hear Nick, please, Shaq?
You already heard it, but you responded to it. You repeated it 3 times. Let's go to Rick.
I'm looking at what happened in 2023. After she'd been boxing for 5 years, she was disqualified by the IBA, which is not the Olympics. But they said nobody's clear on why she was disqualified. It may have been high levels of testosterone. It may have been XY chromosome, but nobody has ever clarified that she was even tested genetically. They remain, the board that disqualified her hasn't said what specific thing was wrong with her that led to the DQ.
Rick, if Jacoby and I were to have a boxing match, right, and the committee said, "Look, Shaquille, you clearly have a higher level of testosterone than what Jacoby has," I would accept being disqualified for it, right? I would accept that. But you wokesters will sit there and try to justify everything, no matter what the situation is, right? Why not just sit there and go, okay, fine, somebody has a point, maybe we should expand the categories, etc., etc. You sit there. You know, the Olympics is not just about America, okay? I know you guys think that you're the most important, most amazing country in the world, okay? But there's like 200 other countries. You've got all the other countries going, hey, we have a problem with this. And you've got the only people being the wokesters in the West going, oh, no, it's okay, it's fine. As I said before, if Sasha and Adam say to me, Shaquille, I know you've challenged Jacoby to a boxing match, but you clearly have more testosterone than him, so you really shouldn't do it. I will accept that because I'm a nice person.
Again, there are actual rules and regulations for testosterone levels that have been in the Olympics for a long time. Hence the reason why they were allowing, same thing with the ACC, if you're going to talk about the US. Other college athletic associations have rules against transgender individuals.
And why didn't they allow Leah Thomas to compete?
And then on top of that, this is where those testosterone levels got really put into place, was because of, again, I keep bringing up the Caster Semenya ruling. That was where the testosterone level really kicked in because her testosterone levels were so high. Again,
Jacoby, here's what I'll do. Here's what I'll do for you.
Please wait.
No, I'm going to make a charitable donation.
We're going to end the show this way. Are we going to keep doing this? So again, I'm adding facts here. I'm not adding, hey,
I just offered you $10,000.
The Olympics.
I'm going to give you $10,000.
What happened with the Olympics at the end of 2023 in December? They actually upped their actual rules and regulations against transgender athletes because of this testosterone levels and other qualifications that they had to qualify for. So when this young lady, who is a lady, ended up qualifying for the Olympics, yes, as I pointed out, and as Rick just go ahead and chimed in and pointed out as well, she failed in 2023 against a ruling body that has nothing to do with the Olympics.
Also, let me talk about the ruling body. Yep. The ruling body who disqualified her has itself been disqualified due to governance issues and perceived judging and refereeing corruption. So that the body that disqualified her after she'd been fighting for 5 years has itself been disqualified for being.
I want to see Jatovich on a date with this so-called woman. But let me do. No, hang on. I'm going to make a donation. I'm going to make a donation. Hang on. I'm going to make a donation. Right? I'm coming to the United States. I'm going to be coming to the United States shortly. All right. Here's what I'm going to do for you, Jatovich. When I get to North Carolina. When I get to North Carolina, you and me jump in a ring. You and me jump in a ring, right? And if you can beat me, I will make a $10,000 donation to a charity of your choice.
We're back on these threats. How you going to threaten to beat me up?
No, it wasn't a threat. It wasn't a threat. No, we'll have an umpire.
I don't care. Let's talk about the topic. So
wait, I got personal experience.
We'll have gloves. I'll put cotton candy on the end of my glove.
Let me talk. I had a high testosterone girlfriend. I had a high testosterone girlfriend in college, and it was awesome. She was strong as heck. We were always banging, but she was also crazy because, she had high testosterone. We were bouncers together in a bar. She was a better bouncer than I was. It was very exciting, but also very stressful because she got pissed off easy. But she was definitely a girl. I saw all her parts. We used all her parts. She was a girl who just happened to have high T levels.
But you haven't seen all of Jatovich's parts. So my office still remains. If you can beat me in a fight, we'll get umpires. I'll put cotton candy on the end of my gloves. Okay.
I know you hate me, and you want to do this whole fight and attack me with this physical violence stuff. Let's use words and talk about facts. Let's get back to what we're talking about the Olympics and what's going on with that. You getting in this idol as we started out, Adam pointed out, we were 20 minutes in. You wanted to bring up these attacks and this divisiveness. Let's talk about the facts. We brought in facts about these Olympics and what's going on. And you wanted to, you keep going into this, well, they want to let them go. No, we pointed out the fact she's not transgender. And the governing body that disqualified her was actually disqualified themselves for corruption. So the problem is yes, there are testosterone levels that these individuals have to abide by going into the Olympics. She passed that. And honestly, Nick brought in some great information that if she's been disqualified afterwards, then okay, she probably missed those qualification levels. So, okay, now she's disqualified, or was that being pushed out because of the controversy? Regardless, if she's disqualified, then the controversy is pretty much done, because what we should focus on.
Why should she be? So, I mean, what happened was bullshit, because the Italian boxer takes a hard punch to the face, gets a bloody nose, cries, and quits. Why should we buy that? Now, I don't know. Like the puncher is 5'10". The punchee, the Italian boxer's 5'7". Did they weigh the same? I don't understand that. You've got a 3-inch height difference, but just because somebody gets a nose owie and cries about it, does that mean the other boxer should get kicked out?
Well, yes. And I shared this the other day, and I don't know if anyone listened, but
because it's a he, not a she.
She's been a she her whole life.
Doing testing on females, and here's the thing: they tested the women for years and years and years, and what they came up with that test is a lot of times the test just came up with a lot of false positives or negatives. Everyone's bloodline, DNA testing, whatever they were doing is just different from different countries, but it's also different based on your physical abilities, what you do every day, how you eat, how you work out. Everybody's going to be different. Now, if she wasn't transgender, I think that somebody needs to be sued for calling her that and for making her life miserable and shaming her for something that she's not. Now, and I think that the true liability lands on the Olympics. and the people who run the Olympics, because they should have been in control of this from get-go, from very get-go. And so should have their trainers and their coaches. Those are the people who need to be in charge. But if she beat the other person, she beat the other person. If she is not a transgender, there shouldn't be another issue talked about this. And we need to stop shaming people and gaslighting this situation and spreading.
I agree. That's why you shouldn't make comments about people who aren't on a show that are negative and false. You should take your own advice.
Adam, we were having a good conversation.
Okay, come on. Here's the latest news.
I'm not worried about it. I've already apologized. If he's too immature to accept an apology.
All right,
so
let
be it. Go ahead,
Sasha go here. Let's
Go ahead, Sasha.
Well, let's fix the apology issue. Who's apologizing to whom? I missed it all.
Don't worry about it, Sasha. That's a backstage thing.
So here comes the latest news. Right now, it's almost the end of the soccer match between United States and Morocco. Guess what? Morocco is winning 3-0 against US. And there is already talk that Moroccan players have to be tested for testosterone level, and probably they have some transgenders, maybe a couple of pedophiles, and they have to check out Moroccan team. It cannot be Morocco could beat United States 3-0. There must be something there.
Is that the
Must be
women's
something
team?
wrong. I'm happy they won. I'm getting ready to go there, and I'm going to spend a lot of time there. So this will be fun. There'll be a lot of celebrations there. I mean, what luck do I have to be able to go there right after they win? Wow.
Can I just say that
That's going to be awesome. Thanks for sharing new news for a change.
The disqualifier is pretty simple, right? If you have a cock, you're disqualified. Like, it's as simple as that. Like, why is this even an argument, right? It's only you wokesters, you guys on the left, that are like, oh, well, it's testosterone levels, this, that. No, if you have a thing dangling between your legs, you're disqualified. Why is this hard? It hasn't been hard for, like, depending on how religious you are, 6,000 years of human history or 100,000 years since we were fixed and we came out, like,
you're making,
you know, like this is not difficult stuff.
If you'd listened, you would have known, but you run your mouth too much.
I heard, and I think it's ridiculous. I think it's ridiculous. Whether she look,
they have been doing it for years.
You guys on the left are always talking about how the Constitution should be a living, breathing document. Okay, can you shush? Let me speak. You've had your bit. Let me speak. You've had your bit. You've had your bit. Let me speak.
And you were talking about something that is
yesterday you complained that if I didn't shut up,
even important to
why can't you just let me speak to Toby? Why can't you just shush for a minute?
Because you can't let
people on the left.
Let Rick speak.
All right, so anything to shut down what I want to say. Anything to shut.
Shaq, then me. Shaq, go.
No, Rick, go.
I can't because the gracious hosts keep muting me. Rick, you people on the left talk about. Can I speak? You people on the left talk about how the Constitution should be a living, breathing document, right? I agree with you. I don't think that you guys should run your country based on the ideals of 250 years ago. I agree that it needs to mold into the world we live in today. But you guys sit there and act as though only your interpretation about what should be changed is valid, and it's not. And some things are just immutable. Some things are just the way they are. And you know what? I can sit there and try to pretend that I'm a beautiful, blonde-haired, gorgeous woman like Kimberly, but that's not going to make it reality. And if you people try to treat me as though I am, that doesn't make it reality. Nor does it mean that I should be entitled to identify as a 15-year-old and then go and join the local 15-year-old girls' taekwondo class. And guess what? I have to win all the time. It's ridiculous.
Well, the woman, she said her dad initially didn't even, the woman who punched the other woman was initially not even, her dad wouldn't even let her compete in boxing for a while because he said women shouldn't box. She's been a female her whole life. The other lady, the Italian lady who got punched, got a bloody nose and cried, she's not boxing, she's a cop. And in my experience of cops, they sometimes get punched by people, some of whom are guys. So, like, I don't know. I just feel like you've got somebody who's been a woman. She hits another woman. The woman gets a bloody nose and cries. And now all of a sudden the puncher, is getting,
Rick, do you consider me
boxer, as an avid lover of boxing? One, she got hit in the nose, and usually she got hit square in the nose, which caused an issue for her. And it was tough to come back, especially when you get hit in the nose. Many boxers have fallen from that hit. So for the young Italian lady who got hit in the nose, yes, she got hit right on the button, and that happens. In terms of the woman who did the punch, she was a woman. She has a vagina. So I don't know why we're arguing. Oh, well, if she has something to do with
the avid fan of boxing that won't have a crack with me.
Stop.
I don't know why you're defending her. Obviously people don't defend
He
her.
won't have a crack with me. I've offered $10,000 for charity of his choice, and he won't have a go. He won't have a go. He's an avid fan of boxing.
Stop. So again, the reason I am defending her, as well as her country and many other countries are defending her, and people are at her because of the same situation, bringing up something that she's not, as Kim pointed out that she's not transgender, as Rick pointed out she's not transgender. She has a high set of testosterone levels. There is actually a great reporter who did it was a boxing reporter, did a great article and pointed out all this information. But for some odd reason, again, that issue is hypersensitive in the ethos right now. And because that issue is hypersensitive,
because you had a bunch of drag queens on beginning of the Olympics. Come on. Come on.
What's wrong with drag queens?
Talk about a woke agenda.
No, Nick.
I don't want to
point out.
Why have a bunch of chess players?
Just to point out, Nick. Hold on, Nick. Just to point out. Just to point out, Nick. Just to point out.
Because I missed
Nick.
No, I do not.
Just to point out, Nick. Just to point out. Drag queens,
I'm not interested,
have not done anything to kids, yet you support the church.
They've not done anything to kids. Here we go. Okay. Jacoby, you've made your point. Let us respond. Jacoby, you've made your point. Let us respond. Let us respond. Jacoby, you've made your point. Don't dominate the rest of the minutes. You've made your point.
So, Shaq, I'm going to get back to my point.
Why don't we have
we've got 2.5 minutes left. Let the rest of us respond. Let the rest of us respond, Jacoby.
Let me respond and I can get done. So we are.
Yeah, but you getting done will take the rest of the show.
Shaq. We're going to end the show this way.
Jacoby.
I know you really hate me. That's why you always do the physical violence. So please stop and let's listen.
Physical violence.
Stop. Yes, I do truly hate me, and I get that. That's why
Pathetic bunch, Jacoby. Pathetic bunch.
Please, let your hatred subside. I get it.
Yeah. You use that word because you know that I understand that I don't like you using that word. So now you keep using the word. Then you send an email to everybody.
The whole time. Okay. Thank you. So again, we are talking about a woman who has a higher testosterone level, and that is the issue of the situation of past the Olympic test. She only failed the IBF or the IBA because of the fact that they're a corrupt organization, evidently. So she qualified for the 2020 Olympics and fought there. She did fight in other fights. Her record is 9-5. She's lost 5 times. Her overall record is 30-some and 9.
51 and
9. Yeah. So she's lost 9 times against many different women, and many different women have said that she's not cheating. So those that even competed against her are not complaining about it. But the mixed interpretation of her biological situation is a problem for our ethos right now because of the hypersensitivity.
Now that we have 50 seconds to respond, can we respond now? We've got 50 seconds left. Can we respond? So firstly, in relation to testosterone levels, I'm not threatening you with physical violence. I just offered, if you want to have a go, I'll have a go with you. I'll give you $10,000 to a charity of your choice, but obviously you don't want to. Okay, and that's perfectly okay because I know how low